because that's actually the way in which the act is written. The use of those words psychological, I understand why the comment was presenting it. Whether or not the exemption would apply has nothing to do with the particular reason. So we'll admit C2.
Thank you. Now, Dr. Johnson, in addition to speaking to groups around the world, you've also spoken on some radio shows.
Yes, sir, all the time.
And one of those is called the Breakfast Club on Power 105 out of New York City.
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm going to show you a video clip. Let's see some. Sorry.
You're watching The Breakfast Club. Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, showing me the guy. We are The Breakfast Club. And it's just in the building. Dr. Umar Johnson.
Peace and love, family. Glad to be back. Good to see everyone.
So what's on your mind today, man?
All is well. Just came back from China and Japan. Okay. My first visits over there, speaking with the African community and Japan. Spent a week in Japan. So in America, we have a civil rights culture.
At the beginning of the proceeding, I admonished everyone that I would not tolerate the outbursts. If you cannot control yourself, please excuse yourself at this time. We will give you a moment, because the parties need that respect. The next outburst, and you will be here. You will be dismissed from the proceeding. The parties deserve the respect and ability to hear what's going on in this particular case. Thank you. So if you need to excuse yourself, don't be embarrassed. I would rather you excuse yourself rather than being embarrassed. You may continue.
Thank you. Dr. Johnson, do you recognize the image that's on the screen there?
Yes, I do.
Is that a true and accurate copy of your, or image of your website?
Not my website, but that's a true and accurate image of the interviews that I participated in at the Breakfast Club in New York City.
Okay, all right. Now, if you look up at the top left-hand corner, it has your website name there.
Let me clarify. I take that back. My web designer, he adds videos of mine, so yes, I don't know. They're probably on my website. Yes.
Okay, all right.
This entire page you're looking at, all it's like 6 screens. That's all included on the website.
It appears to be.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. He updates regularly. I don't watch it all the time, but very likely, yes. I'm not objecting to that. I see the website.
And how about that's a CD that will.
Thank you. And that's your C3.
That's my C5.
Okay, thank you.
Well, all right. Power 105. That's an urban contemporary radio station in New York City.
Yes, sir.
And its studios are in the AT&T building in Manhattan.
It's in Manhattan. I'm not sure the name of the building, but yes, it's in Manhattan.
And the Breakfast Club, that's a nationally syndicated radio show.
Yes, it is. Very popular.
Now, one of your interviews with the Breakfast Club took place on June 30th. Is that correct? 2017?
Probably, yes.
Are you aware that the Breakfast Club rated that interview number 9 among the top 10 interviews?
Yes, it should have been higher. Yes.
All right. And that interview right there that we're looking at is the interview that was rated number 9. Is that correct? The one on June 30th?
Yes, that was the most recent. Yes, yes. Interview number 3.
I'm going to try to get us to a specific time. Please bear with me. I apologize.
unemployment line. Why? Because the skills that we learn in college are not necessarily marketable to other black people. I'm a psychologist. Ain't you?
Do you agree that you call yourself a psychologist then?
Yes, I am. Certified school psychologist. And one thing I would like to add, although I understand that it's the state's intent to say that every time I refer to myself as a psychologist, that I am practicing beyond the limits or holding myself as something I am not. The irony in that is whenever I get interviewed, probably even at the beginning of this interview, I always state specifically what I am: certified school psychologist and doctor of clinical psychology. Thereafter, I may refer to myself as psychologist in conversation, but there is never a time when my credentials are not stated forthright. On my website, they're stated forthright. In the exhibit he just gave, it says it right there: certified school psychologist. So when you hear psychologist after I've already said certified school, then it should automatically make sense or be understandable that he's referring to a credential he's already made clear that he had. When I'm at work in schools, they don't call us certified school psychologists every time they refer to us. They call us psychologists. The school district of Philadelphia, psychologists. Chester Upland, psychologists. Anywhere the school psychologist is, we're called psychologists. Nobody regurgitates over and over certified school psychologists. So we're reaching here. Continue, sir.
So what you said is that on that show right there, you, at the beginning of it, told the audience that you were a certified school psychologist?
If not that one, definitely in 2 and 1. There's been 3 Breakfast Clubs, so I'm very familiar with that audience. And if you look at all 3 videos, yes, I state that I'm a certified school psychologist and doctor of clinical psychology. Particularly, I'm certain on the very first one. That's a third follow-up to the first one. And yes, I do say who I am and what I am.
So it's possible that you did not state that you were a school psychologist.
In interview number 3, we would have to watch it. I can't say for certain, but again, because the audience is familiar with me, my community is familiar with me, my work is specifically to my community. I've been doing it for 17 years, 3 as a student. After 20 years, I can assure you, black people know exactly what my credentials are and what they are not.
Understood. The entirety of the interview is recorded on exhibits 5.
The entirety of it, this is interview 3 or 2?
This is 3. The orange dashiki is interview 3, the one to the right is interview 2. And I don't see interview 1 of it.
On the CD, would it include interviews 1 and 2? Only.
I have separate CDs. This one, C5, is the interview that we just talked about. The other interviews that you can see on the screen, I have a different CD.
So interview 1 will be included?
That's my understanding. That's what you guys represented, Mr. Kelly, correct? That interview 1 is on the other CD?
Excuse me. Is that interview 1?
That's interview 3. Interview 3 in the orange.
Yes. Okay. In the black and green.
Interview 2.
That's interview 2. I do not have the CD of interview 1. I'm happy to stipulate that the board or you could view that as a combo exhibit or as a response.
Is interview 1 contained on the website?
Yes, they're all on
the
yes.
same?
Yes.
Okay. So if I were to go to Dr. Umar
.com. Is one on the website? I'm not sure.
Okay.
I would have to see. But it would be no problem to get you one because I could just grab it off the internet.
You can also
if I can email it or something.
Can you download it to a CD, burn it, or whatever the apparatus is called?
Okay.
CD, DVD, whatever.
I can have that done and mail it in.
What we can do is, and that's sort of what we talked about at the beginning. So within 30 days,
Okay.
mail a copy into me.
Okay.
CC a copy of the letter to Mr. Kelly indicating this is what it is
Okay.
and mailing it. Do you need a copy of it for your records?
Will the trauma be satisfied with whatever submitted for the record of the proceeding?
All right. And so then we'll keep the record open 30 days after today.
Okay.
They'll allow you to mail it in. And once you get that in 30 days, then I'll close the record.
Yes.
So before we finish today, please make sure that we go back through that to make sure we have it we outline the proper exhibit number. Yes, because we're gonna do that, you should put it in your letter.
And you'll give me the exhibit number.
Yes, but make sure we discuss that before we walk out. Alright, so you can continue.
Thank you.
Alright, C5 is the, CD of interview number 3. Dr. Johnson, any objection to this commission?
No, ma'am.
Alright, it is.
So is this 2 and 3 or just 3?
That's just 3.
Just
Okay, just 3. And the reason I'm only asking that, because although I'm certain I stated my credentials on 1, I may have stated it on 2. It is possible I stated on 3. It's possible it could have been stated on all 3, but certainly the first one. So I wanted to make sure you had all 3. So do I need to give you 1 and 2, but this is only 3?
It sounds like only 1 because a comma was going to introduce the other interview.
2 and 3.
That's what it sounds like.
I think we'll clear it up.
We keep going, okay. So
No,
we'll
I'm not clear. No.
So what we'll do is,
Well, hopefully
we'll
you
admit
will
this
be.
one. We'll admit C5.
Okay.
I'm just saying this is interview 3.
Gotcha.
Then as we proceed, I understand they're going to introduce another CD.
Yes.
We'll see what interview comes up.
Yes, ma'am.
Whatever is left, then you're going to provide by mailing in a copy of that.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so we'll admit C5.
As another radio interview to refer to. Dr. Johnson, do you recall having been interviewed on a radio show called Stand Up Now on 1440 WFKM Radio People?
Probably. I do 20 radio interviews a week.
Okay.
I'm sure.
And this is what number?
This would be Exhibit C6.
This is your family. Welcome back to the family. Gospel 1440 AM, WMKM.
Does that look familiar to you at all?
Yes.
Okay. I've got the chase here too.
Stand up now, and we all must stand up now. I do believe that we do have Umar Johnson on the line. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
All is well. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate you and LaDonna, so make sure you tell LaDonna, and I hope she's listening, that we thank you. Dr. Umar, tell us a little bit about who it is that you are, for those of us who don't know.
Certainly, I'm Dr. Umar Johnson. I'm a certified school psychologist, certified school principal. I'm in private practice here in Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where I evaluate children for special education, disability, determination. I work with charter schools, public schools, superintendents, principals, special ed attorney advocate groups. I'm founder of my very own advocate group, the National Independent Black Parent Association.
Do you agree, Dr. Johnson, that you represented on that interview that you have a private practice in Philadelphia?
Yes, sir. And I will repeat again to clarify that a certified school psychologist can do private work doing the same things they do in the school, outside of the school if they're employed by a public school.
And do you agree that that videotape that we just watched is available to viewers on the internet?
Yes.
How about who's for admission to C6?
Any objections?
No, ma'am. Clarifying point for what purpose?
As I understand the follow-up questions asked by Mr. Kelly, the issue being the private practice, but it also contains what you were saying, the certified school specialist.
Exactly. And are we clear here in going forward that the code does specifically state that a certified school psychologist employed can practice privately? Are we clear on that?
We will take notice of all the applicable applicable law
Okay.
at the conclusion
All
of
right.
the evidence is needed to apply it. So with that,
And again, reiterating that although I have that right, all of my work is done in a school building. There is no private work done other than the speaking, or if I'm called to train, or if I'm called to do an independent educational evaluation in another district in a school in Pennsylvania.
understood. There was sort of an exception to the admission of C6 that you've noted. It is on the record.
Okay.
It wasn't exactly an objection, but your statement that you made is obviously contained in the record. We're going to admit C6.
Thank you.
All right.
Can I ask one question about the clarifying question? I noticed what the first exhibit was 2014. And of course we're here because I'm being accused of practicing psychology without a license. If this goes back to 2014, and I remember the first time I was contacted by an investigator from the Bureau of Professional Affairs, Mr. Ernest Dixon, I believe his name was, an African American. I met with him at King of Prussia, in office there, his office, and he interviewed me. I answered all his questions. He shook my hand, and I believe he said, just be careful, but I don't see anything here. That was in 2014, 2015.
But what is the clarifying point?
Okay, the clarifying point is, if the state felt that I was practicing psychology without a license, why did they wait all those 4 years to say something to me about it?
I understand. I don't know if we're going to, that will
Okay.
come out
Okay.
throughout the course of the proceeding. And so I did not rule the motion because he's not testifying. What you just said is not considered testimony. You're not sworn in at this time. So I'm not going to rule the objection. It's not going to be considered testimony.
Or should it though, because that's a part of this that I met with.
It certainly can be. And then
Okay.
once the Commonwealth rests, when we come, you're sworn in, and that is where you want to go your testimony. Now, obviously, he's going to voice an objection at that time, the one he just stated, regarding it being hearsay. So we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
He is sworn in.
We have not sworn. He has not been sworn in. Oh, yes, I'm sorry, you are, because we are under
Yes,
oath,
we are.
and you actually call this a common witness. So, therefore, his objection is that when you said the investigator told me that was hearsay. And so, whenever you have a statement that is made outside of a testimonial atmosphere, then you have to have a certain exception for it to be admitted. So, you can't testify to what someone told you or what someone said.
Understood. Are investigators required to submit some sort of a summary or anything after they meet with someone for the purposes of an investigation? Should there have been a summary document or something that he would have been required to file as a result of me meeting with him in his office in King of Prussia?
That's for the Commonwealth to determine, because it's the Commonwealth investigator. I cannot think of any particular statute that says the investigator for the Commonwealth has to reduce all interviews to a written or recorded form. So I cannot, respond to that particular statement. But nevertheless, for the purposes of what we just went through, that portion of what the investigator said will not be admitted for this case. The date that you spoke about, when it occurred, obviously that is a consideration.
Next, the Commonwealth has exhibit C7, which is another recording from the Breakfast Club that's on response.
You're watching The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ MV Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. We got a special guest in the building. That's right, Dr. Umar Johnson.
Peace and love. Peace and love, family. All is well. Glad to be back.
Now let's get right to it, man. Like everything that's going on, what are the solutions? I mean, let's discuss the problem solved. What are the solutions?
All right. Before I state the solution, I have to challenge you on that. Because although we talk about the problems a lot of people don't understand how the problem operates. I'll give you an example. Take this education. Okay? People know the children aren't learning. They know black boys are not graduating. They know special ed is an issue. They know ADHD is a problem. But they don't know how this operates. They don't understand how the child goes from the classroom into the special education system. Okay, so they have to be taught how it operates, you follow? So we understand that police genocide is a problem in the black community. We understand that structural inequality, disproportionality, i.e. racism is a problem. But do we understand how racism operates? So I think that once you understand how the problem operates and manifests itself, you're now in a position to solve it. Someone comes to me for therapy. Before I do any therapy, what I do, a clinical history. Is there depression in your family? Have you been depressed before? Have you ever contemplated suicide? So I have to understand your background and how you've been living your life in order to solve your current everyday problems. So now, coming to...
Do you recognize that video?
Yes, sir.
Is that an image of yourself describing your private practice?
Yes and no, because I think the question is going to be about therapy.
Well, my question just is that an image of you describing your private practice?
No, sir.
It's not an image of you describing your
No.
private practice.
And I'll clarify when I can.
All right, go.
Okay. I am a therapist. I have been. Different organizations, Philadelphia Health Center, Children's Crisis Treatment Center. I was a therapist in my pre-doctoral internship in Trenton with the Department of Youth and Family Services, Ewing Residential Treatment Center. I did therapy while attending the Philadelphia Osteopathic Medicine, my clinical practicums in the Center for Brief Therapy. I have been a therapist for most of my career. Do I do therapy in private practice? Of course not. Certified school psychologists don't do therapy. We do school psychological counseling. But have I been a therapist? Absolutely. I've done it for years. And the two principal organizations that I've done it from, although I have since resigned, was the Children's Crisis Treatment Center, where I was an outpatient therapist for children and families, as well as the Philadelphia Mental Health Center, where I did some of my doctoral clinical practicums. And I was asked to stay on and continue being a therapist. In Philadelphia, we have a very large behavioral health system, which is filled with master's level and PhD level therapists who are not licensed, who work under the supervision of a licensed psychologist. So yes, I have been a therapist. And no, it is not included in my work as a certified school psychologist. Outside the school is therapy. In the school is school psychological counseling, and that's also in the state code.
Interjection to the mission of C7.
No, as long as we're clear on my clarification.
Understood. Well, admit it. This is that interview number 2, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, admit it.
This is marked as Exhibit C4. There's the original. You need to double that straight through the can.
Okay, you could just explain it to me. I don't know.
Sure. It is. Well, certificate of manifestation. It's the document that proves the costs.
Okay.
The third page is the
I agree.
Dates
My shade.
with their work, their hourly rate, and the amount of hours that they put in.
Okay.
And which in total.
Yes, sir.
So that is signed by the person who is the head of that bureau, and what he has attested to is attested to us. And she has attested to is certified by the secretary.
Yes, sir. One clarification earlier when I said I met with a gentleman at King of Prussia, because I'm seeing two names here. I believe it was Ernest Dixon. It could have been Jesse Bennett, just as a clarifying point. There's one other. The second point, and I'm not guilty of anything, but when I look at these costs, how how were they computed, given the fact that all we see is YouTube clips and a website, and it certainly don't cost $2,400 to look at a Breakfast Club interview. So these investigative costs are coming from where? How is this being calculated?
I understand Dr. Johnson's question. I don't think that his question goes to the admissibility of the document. It may go to the amount of charges if he wants to contest them. But as far as this document being admissible under the general rules of administrative practice and procedures, I believe that these.
So his response is that under the law, there are two different categories of ways to think of things. Whether something is admissible, like whether or not it actually meets the criteria under, say, the rules of evidence to be admitted as an exhibit. And so he's saying that the document, there should not be anything to bar its admissibility because it's a certified document. Whether or not the actual cost, as is outlined, whether or not I should give any weight to the amount listed in the certificate and attestation, that is something that you can contest. So whether or not that document actually is a certificate and attestation, unless you have an exception to that, and want to admit it, whether or not it actually should be $2,400 odd, then you can actually contest that through your testimony and through what interaction you have had with an investigator. So, other than that, the actual amount of cost, do you have any objection to C4?
And not of the amount of costs.
I will admit Commonwealth's C4. Mr. Bell?
Dr. Johnson, you also have a number of YouTube videos of issues of race and education.
Yes.
Can you estimate about how many videos you yourself have put on YouTube?
Dozens, yes, sir.
More than 100?
Not me, myself, but there's more than 100 videos of me that have been uploaded of others who have attended my lectures. The videos I would have uploaded, most of them would have been from my Tuesday morning Black Parent Teleconference, where I give advice to parents on issues relative to special education and mental health of Black children, and some tutorials that I do, and other commentary I do on general issues affecting African people. But most videos are uploaded by others, not myself. But dozens for me, definitely dozens, because I do it every Tuesday.
Thank you. The first question.
All right, so if this were another witness, you didn't have the opportunity to cross-examine that witness. I'm assuming you don't wish to cross-examine yourself, so I think you should respond to the type of questions that he asked, because so do that when we come to your case in chief, if you wish to do so.
Okay, so if I want to ask him some questions, is this the time coordinator?
Well, he's not a witness.
But questions about the case.
Questions about his case, about
This
exhibits
case.
that have been specifically items that he has presented so far.
Yes, and the charge itself.
If it pertains to what has been presented so far, you can testify to that at this point.
So okay.
If you want to go into the applicability of the exemption, then that would be more so for your case in chief. If we wanted to, I'm not sure if you're going to call any additional witnesses today.
No more witnesses for his case in chief.
Understood. So they're about to rest their case.
Okay.
So I'm about to turn to you anyway to
Okay.
say, begin your case.
Okay.
If you want to do that way, let's make the smooth procedure.
Okay.
All right. So your exhibits C1, C2, C4, 5, 6, and 7 have been admitted. There were no other exhibits. All right. With that on rest, we're going to turn to Dr. Johnson. Before we actually move into your case, Dr. Johnson, Mr. Blake, can you approach this? Very well, please. Dr. John's testimony that individuals have been reporting